Hello, welcome to the science-based fibromyalgia website. This brief webinar will cover the problems, causes, and solutions of patients suffering with fibromyalgia. I'm Dr. Gregory Kramer, affiliated with Functional Medicine University, and therefore I've had advanced training in clinical nutrition and functional medicine. I've been in practice for over 20 years and I've seen over 100,000 patient visits, many of whom are suffering with chronic fibromyalgia. Many of the patients that tell me the problems they have with fibro starts at their head and literally ends at their toes. They have headaches, they have pain all over their body, their neck, their shoulders, their arms, their low back, their hips, their knees. The pain goes from side to side, top to bottom. They tell me they have chronic fatigue. They rarely get a good night's sleep. They have trouble falling asleep, and many of them wake up in the middle of the night around 2 or 3. They also tell me that they suffer with irritable bowel syndrome, which means they alternate between constipation and diarrhea. Many of them have trouble with what they call foggy thinking, difficulty remembering names. They walk into a room, they say, "Why am I in this room?" They have difficulty enunciating words or completing sentences. If these problems sound like some of the problems you have, you're not alone. Hundreds of thousands of people throughout the United States suffer with fibromyalgia. And many of these people that I have seen tell me they've suffered for years, some of them even decades, and they thought they would never, ever get well until they followed my comprehensive program. Now, if this sounds like you, and you've been to doctors, both alternative and traditional, and you're not happy with the results, then I think you're going to find this enlightening, the problems, causes, and solutions. Now, many times you've gone to a doctor and they say there's nothing wrong on your x-ray, your lab tests are normal. Well, I'm here to tell you that if you're suffering with these symptoms, something is being missed and something is wrong. What is the cause of fibro? Well, it's more than just one thing. It's multiple factors that can contribute to fibromyalgia. Let me give you an analogy. I like to use an iceberg analogy when explaining fibromyalgia and other chronic diseases. The tip of the iceberg represents the name of your disease, such as fibro. It is the smallest part of the iceberg. You've been seeing doctors that are experts in disease management and have been treating the disease or the tip of the iceberg. And obviously, if that was working, you would not be watching this tape. What I do is I don't treat disease, I don't treat fibro. In fact, in functional medicine and clinical nutrition circles, it's often said we don't treat disease, we treat people who suffer with the disease. Now, what does that mean? 5 people with fibromyalgia could have 5 completely different causes, yet allopathically, they're usually given the same 1 or 2 different drugs. Well, guess what? I believe you deserve to be treated as an individual. Each and every one of you has had different chemical, physical, and emotional stresses in your life. Each of you have a different biochemical individuality, and therefore we need to assess you as an individual. So what do? I treat the cause. The body of the iceberg represents the cause of fibro, represents the physiological glitches or errors in energy metabolism that are contributing to your fibromyalgia. There could be 25 different factors that cause. Each of these 25 factors could be summarized under 3 common categories: neurological problems, structural problems, and metabolic problems. Metabolic, I mean blood work looking for deficiencies and toxicities. Number 1, you could have a gut dysbiosis, which means you have an imbalance in your bacteria in your gut, the good and bad bacteria. That can contribute to chronic problems. Your gut houses the neurotransmitters that affect your mood. Your gut houses 90% of your immune system. You could have a nutritional deficiency or a heavy metal toxicity. You could have a detoxification error. You could have an absorption issue. So even if you took the nutrients, you would not absorb them. In fact, you could have a thyroid disorder. Many fibromyalgia patients suffer from undiagnosed chronic subclinical thyroid disorder. You could have a autoimmune imbalance where your immune system is actually attacking itself. You could have a structural imbalance, which means you could have an uncorrected injury to your neck or back, commonly from a whiplash. And research has shown that chronic neck problems, neck injury, neck misalignment, neck whiplash can contribute to fibromyalgia or chronic fatigue 10 to 20 years down the road. You could have a neurological or brain imbalance where one side of the brain is functioning stronger than the other side. And therefore, when that happens, it creates a hyperactive state to your mesencephalon, and that can create chronic pain throughout your entire body. You could have an imbalance in, for instance, your blood sugar. You could have an imbalance, you could have an anemic problem. There are many, many factors that can contribute to fibromyalgia. The solution is to find out what are your physiological glitches, what are your personal errors that are contributing to your fibromyalgia. Once we find the errors, and we do this through a comprehensive neural structural evaluation and comprehensive science-based lab test, we're then able to pinpoint the correction. So if you have a structural problem, the correction would be a gentle structural rehab. If you have a brain imbalance, we do very gentle brain exercises to stimulate the weaker side of the brain. If you have a nutritional deficiency, or if you have a dysbiosis, we address that with lifestyle, diet, and nutritional supplementations. The key is to find the cause. Now remember, the difference between how I approach fibro is that number one, we look at the cause. Number two, we're comprehensive. And if what you're doing is not working, the only logical thing to do is to try something different. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting a different result. So if addressing the cause of your problem and being comprehensive makes sense to you, then I strongly urge you to give my clinic a call for a 30-minute relaxed consultation. You can bring in your blood work, you can bring in all your lab tests. We'll sit down in a relaxed environment and go over and see, do you qualify for my natural recovery program? If you do, I will let you know. If you don't, I will tell you also. Looking forward to seeing you at the consult. I'm Dr. Gregory Kramer. You can reach us at 248-615-1533. Thank you.